Hello and welcome into the show, everyone. I am Preston Poole alongside Tyler Adams. This is Unadvised here on the Sports Animal YouTube, Facebook, our X account at Unadvised Pod, and shortly after this, wherever you get your podcast, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, you name it. We'll be on there shortly after the show as well. A lot to talk about tonight. There was an ass kicking in downtown Oklahoma City last night.
Sounds like there's an ass kicking in the Sistine Chapel.
Yes. We have hashtag American Pope 2025.
We'll get to it. I just you teed me up for that one right there.
A real shocker from what I understand. Again, I'm not Catholic, so I have no clue how any of that stuff goes down outside of us watching Conclave last week and reviewing that. So a lot to talk about today, mainly just NBA playoffs, because we had a couple of wild games last night, the day before, and then we got a game tonight, game 2 in that Warriors Timberwolves series. The Warriors lead that 1-0. But let's just go ahead and get into the Oklahoma City Thunder last night. Teabag, the most points scored. What was it? The most points scored in an NBA playoff game in Thunder history. I believe it was. I don't think it was
NBA.
Oh, it was NBA playoff history. Okay. I know for sure at the half it was definitely the most points scored in an NBA playoff game.
Are we talking full game or half?
Both. I think both.
I know half was NBA history. I don't know about the final score.
Yeah, I can't remember. I think they needed to get a little bit more points to make it the full game score. The Thunder win 149-106. A great bounce back from game 1 where they kind of crapped down their leg in the last 5 minutes of that game. There's no other way of putting it than that's what they did in game 1. They just kind of we're like some little puppies where they get a little too excited when you go to pet them and they just peed everywhere is what happened in game 1. But last night, Shea, the most efficient playoff game in NBA history, plus 51 in the plus minus. Really, everyone in the starting lineup was, double digits plus in the plus minus. And everyone on the Nuggets were double digits in the minus when it comes to plus minus. So it was just, you could tell after the first, I don't know, what do you say, 5 minutes, the Nuggets just kind of gave up.
Yeah, we obviously know in these playoffs, no lead is safe. We saw it for ourselves with this team. We saw it for ourselves when we came back to beat Memphis when we were down.
And last year, the Thunder gave up a 30-point lead to the Mavericks in round 2.
Yeah, and what game was that?
No, it might not have been round 2, but it was in the regular season against the Mavericks last year.
I was going to say, I was like, no lead is safe. But when that thing got to about 20, and that was only like the second, even though it was the second quarter, like, look, it's not over. Like, job's not done. It is not over. But I'm feeling good for for how these playoffs have gone with a 20-point lead. I'm feeling
they had a 24-point lead after the first. I don't know what it was at the half. They had a big lead at the half still, and just never let up. Everyone played great for the Thunder. Literally everyone on the roster got to play minutes last night in that game, outside of obviously Nikola Topic, who's injured and hasn't played at all this season. It was just great minutes
too.
Yeah, everyone scored at least a bucket. And like I said, it was just the picture perfect night for the Oklahoma City Thunder to bounce back. And I think they were pissed off after the way game 1 ended.
Yeah, the questions, I've heard this question thrown around, what's more indicative, game 1 or game 2, how's the series going to go? I don't think it's really neither. I don't think it's like either, I think it's game 1, the Thunder didn't play good and still controlled the game up until they choked it away.
Yeah.
Game 2, the Thunder just came out and absolutely blew them out. I think game 1 is more indicative for the first 45 minutes of the game of kind of what the series is going to be. Now the Thunder hopefully don't play that bad. No, not like they play terrible, but you need guys like J-Dub and Chet to step up,
Yeah.
and Wiggins and Joe to hit their threes. But I think game one, the way the game's going to go is kind of more like that. But I mean, you look at it, Thunder could easily have a 2-0 lead, and last night just proved once again, Preston, when this team is clicking, no one in the world can beat them.
Yeah, no, 100%. Just a bad night for Nikola Jokic last night as well. He only scored 6 points and then got tossed late in the third quarter because he fouled out. And I know there was a lot of discourse online last night and today about.
I've gone through the ringer, Preston, with my Dallas friends.
Yeah, and look, I would like to sit here and say, okay, yeah, the Thunder probably should be getting called for fouls, or that the foul differential is just so great. Thunder only shot 4 more free throws than the Nuggets last night.
But Preston, it's once they call, they foul every time down the court. I guarantee. Well, there's multiple things. One, I guarantee you can find a foul on every single possession in the NBA in the playoffs.
It's just like in football, you can find a penalty on every single play in the NFL. There's no reason to do that because the game is going to be 6 hours long if you do that.
And you know what? Why don't the Nuggets start doing it too?
Yeah.
If they're not calling it, why aren't they fouling us more?
Well, I mean, Nikola Jokic is throwing elbows like it's nothing. So
yeah.
And Russ is jawing at officials. I mean, Russ easily could have got another tech last night.
Yeah.
I
heard the Pinto call y'all put in there of where he was at the same time criticizing Scott Foster while also defending Scott Foster.
Yeah.
Scott Foster's so dumb, but I also don't like Russell clapping in his face.
Yes.
Classic Pinto.
It was quite the night. Just nothing went right for the Denver Nuggets last night from the get-go. The Thunder got out quick and in a hurry. The main thing that and this is very small thing, I guess, but they shot 91% from the free throw line.
Yeah.
They've been about a 70% average so far in the playoffs.
Which is great because they struggled in game one. I mean, they missed 8 free throws in game one. You only miss 6 and you're going to overtime, even with the choke job.
Yeah, no, 100%. So they hit 33 of the 36 free throws last night. Denver only hit 25 of their 32. And by the way, in a game when you get your ass kicked by 45 points, we're really going to bitch about fouling. I mean, take away all the Thunder's free throws and the Thunder still win by 10 points. So let's not do that. Let's just let the games play out and be what they may, because it's just something that we've dealt with all year long about people saying that Shea's a free throw merchant and all this stuff. Which yes, at times is he probably. I'm not ashamed to say there's times where he's definitely like that. But all the superstars in the NBA are that way.
Yeah.
All right. It's just the fact, and I saw this on Reddit. It's just the fact that a lot of people don't like Shea because he seems like a nice guy. He doesn't really do much to anything flashy off the court, like an Anthony Edwards, who, by the way, you can like Anthony Edwards, but he's not a very good person off the court. All right.
Yeah.
At least Shea seems like a good person and doesn't do anything like that, or like a Ja Morant who's over here, pointing guns at teenagers and stuff like that. So it's just NBA social media is a cesspool of people that don't watch ball. First of all, they just take what everybody else says and they just repeat it and regurgitate it.
Yeah, I mean it's clickbait, it's clips. It's Gen Z. Gen Z is running the show with NBA Twitter.
Yeah,
I'm a member of Gen Z, but I also like to separate myself with the category of.
But you're not a burner account that is just.
Yeah, I'm not. I'm not.
With one goal is to piss everyone.
I'm at the
off.
very beginning of Gen Z. I'm not in the heart of Gen Z. So I feel like if you're at the beginning of a generation, you kind of like half of. I feel like half millennial, half Gen Z. A lot of the times, I'm not full on Gen Z. Pointing to a Twitter clip to prove my point. I had a thought and I lost it. Go ahead. Sorry.
Like you said earlier, the role players I thought played well last night. J-Dub had 17 points, Chet had 15 points. Nice bounce back game for him. iHeart had that push shot working. I mean,
Yeah,
iHeart could have played 48 minutes and probably scored like 30 points just off that
yeah,
push shot because Denver was doing nothing to stop that. Dort had 12 points. I would like for him to not shoot as many threes. He was 2 of 9 last night from 3. Let's dial that back a bit to maybe like 5 a game and maybe,
they're
start
going to
hitting
keep him open.
those.
They're going to keep him open.
And then I thought the unsung hero last night for the Thunder was Jay Will, who just went in and
Yeah,
didn't let Nikola Jokic do anything.
yeah, he was awesome. He came in, the foul he had on or to get was it Jokic's 5th or 6th to get him out
I
of the
believe
game.
his 5th foul.
Yeah, that was just great.
Where Jokic just jumped on his back. And I
Yeah,
get
yeah.
like J-Dub was kind of like backing him down but Jokic just went for like
He was like, F this.
Yeah, went with the pull the chair out from underneath J Will, but then just jumped on his back move. So yeah, and I thought there was another play where they called Lou Dort on a foul where Jokic kind of like fell on top of Lou. But I understood it because Lou had his arm like wrapped around the back of Nikola Jokic. And anytime you wrap your arm like that around a guy, they're going to get you on a foul like that.
Yeah.
So I understood that, but this is shaping up for a very scrappy series later on in the series for sure.
There you can tell they're not liking it. The Nuggets are going to come out very aggressive in Game 3. The Thunder are going to have to match it. I think the Thunder will. That's their MO. Wiggins and Isaiah Joe were great last night, coming off the bench, hitting their shots. That's just a great spark. And you just need Caruso's going to travel. He's a vet.
Which, by the way, only 10 minutes for him last night. I'm thinking that hip injury might be flaring up a little bit for him right now.
Yeah, but it's the playoffs. He's going to give it a go tomorrow. But knock on wood with that. But Caruso, is going to travel. He's a veteran. Case and Wallace, at least on the defensive end, is going to travel. And then you're just going to need Wiggins or Isaiah Joe just to come in off the bench and just have one of those guys on the road step up off the bench and make their shots. If you just get one of those guys having a game where they're shooting 40+% from 3, it's very, very good for the Thunder.
And look, if the Nuggets are going to sit and whine and bitch about the physicality, bring it right back at them in Game 3.
Yeah.
Don't give up. Just keep being physical, and let them sit there and bitch and moan about it.
Yeah, get that crowd really hating you tomorrow. Let's get Denver fans to hate us, just like Pelicans fans, just like Mavericks fans, just like Memphis fans. Let's get Denver on the OKC hate train.
I enjoy being the hated one. Like that gives me like some like powers. I'm like, okay, hate us if. What's the saying from that movie? They hate us because they ain't us. Yep. Yeah. Channel that going into this game, Game 3 tomorrow night. Russell Westbrook was like the Tasmanian devil last night. I mean, he was just everywhere, spinning and just recklessly going down into the lane. But he was the leading scorer, I believe, for the Nuggets last night, and it was just vintage Russell Westbrook last night.
Yeah, he came in. He provided a spark whenever he came in.
Yeah,
hit his first couple shots. He was definitely the momentum shifter. The crowd booing Russell, love it. Again, I made a walk and talk PSA about this yesterday. I never said boo the guy. I don't think the boos are bad. It's not a hate boo. It's not like they're booing him every time he gets the ball. It's just like a friendly, like.
Screw it, boom! Like this is the playoffs, dude.
If you're playing, let's just say you're playing in a golf tournament or something, and I was there, I'd be giving Preston a lot of hell the whole time because that's what you do with your friends. And Russell is our friend, and I didn't like the cheer in Game 1. I was never pro cheer because Russell Westbrook, Thunder legend, gonna have a statue, rightfully so. When the series is over, he can come stay in Oklahoma City and eat for free and do anything he wants and not to pay for a damn thing. He's a legend here.
Yeah.
And while this series is going on, Russell Westbrook is trying to eliminate the Oklahoma City Thunder.
No, he's an enemy of the state, 100%.
And he is the enemy, and this is war. Do not cheer for the enemy. Do not bow down just because he's Russell Westbrook and what he means to us. No. I love the boos because, like we said, it was friendly boos. It wasn't hostile. It was all in good fun. Keep it going. Keep it going. The crowd was. I mean, I wasn't there last night, Preston, but J-Dub said post game the crowd was electric. Everyone, that it sounded like on TV. You could see the fans, standing and cheering. A lot of the game, and everyone that was there said it was a great crowd. So that's the energy we need to have. Is we got to take advantage of the home court, and I feel like in game one we did not.
No, not at all. Not at all. Also, another vintage Russell Westbrook move. He took a box score up to the scorer's table and wanted them to change some stats. So I was told that by either Gideon or Matt last night. Told me that. So it was definitely a vintage Russell Westbrook night for sure.
I just love that Russ Westbrook's keeping track in his head while he's playing what he has.
Yeah, in a 45-point blowout, he's taking the box score up to the stats. People saying, no, you need to credit me for this assist or this rebound. That is vintage Russell in that. So, I mean, what are your thoughts for game 3? Do you think the Thunder come out with the same fire? And obviously, I think the Nuggets are going to come out fired up at home. In front of their own crowd, but what do you think about the Thunder side of things?
I think this game 3 sets a tone more for how do I put it? More for the Nuggets than the Thunder. Yeah. In the sense, I think the Thunder could do not lose game 3. Thunder, do not. I do think the Thunder could avoid they need to go 1-1 just like Denver did here. And get that series tied.
Yeah.
And I think if you get the 2-1 lead with the Thunder and you put pressure on the Nuggets with the way, and if you play like you did again last night, not saying go win by 43, but go win by 15 on the road or something, and play with that edge that you played with last night, I think that really puts the Nuggets with a lot of pressure. Now they're champions. Yeah. Everyone on that roster that plays, I think Russell Westbrook's the only guy that's not, but he's obviously a veteran with playoff experience. I get all that, but I do think that the Thunder are just clearly better than the Nuggets when they're firing on all cylinders. And if they do that again in game 3, I think game 4 is going to be a lot more, go out and let it fly kind of game.
Yeah, I went back the last 2 seasons. The Thunder are 3-1 in Denver. So only loss was this season. But I forget who was out for that game.
I think Chet and Hartenstein might have been. Yeah. I think that might have been during that stretch.
I think you're right. So Thunder have a decent record there. So we'll see. I think, look, obviously you're sitting really pretty if you come home with a 3-1 lead, winning 2 in Denver and a chance to close it out at home. What would that be in game 5? So we'll see tomorrow night, 9 p.m. So drink your coffee. It's going to be a late one. And then maybe mix in a little whiskey or something later in the night.
Yeah.
And you'll be good to go. So that'll be tomorrow night. Now on to the other 2 series in the Eastern Conference. And boy, surprising are they. The Celtics lose last night to the New York Knicks. That series heads to New York with the Knicks having a 2-0 lead in that. And who would have thunk? That is pretty nuts.
I mean, the Celtics are just, we just talked about Russ, live by Russ, die by Russ. The Celtics are a definition of live by 3, die by 3.
Yeah.
I remember, you hear people talking after game 1, the Celtics aren't going to shoot that bad again. And it's not that I disagreed with them, but I was thinking to myself, I saw the Celtics play the Thunder twice this year when they shot that bad.
Yeah.
And it's, if your averages are down, if you're not hitting your 3 ball and you're relying on that, you're not going to win the game a lot of the times. Now, the Celtics also choked it away in both games, blowing 20-point leads. But it happened again last night. They lived by the 3 and died by the 3. And then when it came down to the clutch, Jason Tatum, he made that dunk, but it wasn't the best defense by the Knicks. It's not like he made some crazy, clutch shot. Is a lot of NBA players could have done what Tatum did right there. And then gets the ball in his hands again for the final shot, gets it blocked. Mikal Bridges.
Yeah.
Back-to-back
2 games in a row.
Stops. Yeah. And I mean, Tatum, the one knock everyone has on him is his clutch time performance. And last night did not help his case any.
And you don't want to be in a clutch time scenario going against Jalen Brunson, who is turning into one of the best clutch time players in the NBA. He's been great. The thing about this game yesterday is neither team shot well from three. I mean, the Knicks were 9 of 31. The Celtics were 10 of 40. It's just, yeah, those guys down the stretch. I think for the Celtics is their role players that were outstanding last year are not playing the same way this year, right? So
Yeah.
it's everything is on Tatum and Jaylen Brown's shoulders a lot more. And that's I don't think that's a good place to be for the Celtics.
This is going to be tomorrow at 2:30 in Madison Square Garden might be the best place to be in the United States of America. Like, going to be unreal there. The Knicks fans are going to be going crazy. I'm not counting the Celtics out at all, Preston.
Oh no, not at all. No.
I mean, if those three balls do hit, I mean they've been the better team through 3.5 quarters.
Oh no, if they go and shoot 50% from three in the game, and by the way, the Knicks have been terrible at home this year. So that leads to this thing could be tied up heading back to Boston for game 5.
Yeah, and I mean they're shooting so bad from three. If they just increase it by 10%, they're going to win the game.
Yeah.
From what we see now. Is that different on the road? Who knows? They're the champions, and I'm not going to count them out until there's 4 in the win column for the Knicks. Even they almost came back from 3-0 against the Heat in 23 in the Eastern Conference Finals. They took that thing to 7 and almost pulled it out there. So I'm not going to count them out. But it's funny because I don't like the Celtics at all. So this has been a pretty funny watch to go through.
Yeah, no, and look. So far, I mean, if the Thunder can, get to the finals and let's say the Celtics lose here and then the Cavs, I mean, you're looking pretty good, right? You're not going to have to go through, Boston or Cleveland, who are 2 of the best teams in the NBA all season. So, we'll see. We'll see about that. That next game is Saturday, I believe.
2:30.
2:30 on Saturday in New York. Yeah, I was watching the clip. I forget what they're called, but the guys that do like the interview videos outside of Madison Square Garden,
Man on Street,
was hilarious.
They're the best.
Last night, yes, I love those every year.
Knicks fans and Thunder fans are like the most passionate fans, but in the two most polar opposite ways.
Complete opposites. Derek on Facebook says, "Sup guys, love the show. Minnesota, in my opinion, has been handed a golden ticket. They need to take advantage with Curry out." No, 100%. And we were just getting ready to talk about that. Minnesota played god awful in that game the other night. It was just not good. Steph Curry obviously gets hurt. He's out for at least a week with a hamstring. What strain is what they're calling it. So he won't be back until probably game 6 or 7 if it goes that far. So yeah, Minnesota with Steph Curry out tonight needs to go out and win one because and Ant really hasn't played great the last 2 games. Even that closeout game in the last round didn't really play that well. He needs to come out and play well for the Timberwolves tonight.
Yeah, the Timberwolves have. I mean, they struggled a lot on offense. Now, you can look against the Lakers. They scored 85 points in game 2. They scored 103 in game 5 where they won the series, but they didn't shoot the ball great at all. And even in some of the games they won, they scored in high points, but it's not like they're just a juggernaut on offense. And then, game 1 against the Warriors, 88 points. And, you think they'd be able to take advantage of the same things that they were against the Lakers with Rudy Gobert because the Warriors don't have a lot of size. So they do.
Well, Rudy Gobert is a bum, first of all. I'll say that.
He's either a bum or he's prime Shaq. More times than not, he's a bum. More times than not in the playoffs, he's a bum. I'm not going to rule the Warriors out yet because I think if they can just, get this series to 3-2 and Curry comes back, I think they have a puncher's chance.
Well, Buddy Hield is playing like Oklahoma Buddy Hield right now.
Yeah, Buddy Hield and Jimmy Butler. I mean, if the Timberwolves just have one more off night the next 3 games, before Curry comes back, the Warriors can definitely win because Buddy Hield and Jimmy Butler are playing so good that they don't need to go out and score 130 points. They need to go out and score, 99 like they did the other night.
And I think the Warriors are fine losing tonight and heading back home 1-1.
Yeah.
Because I think they're like that's perfect. Like, if you were able to steal one, obviously if they win tonight, they're in even better position. But I think the Warriors are probably fine heading back to San Francisco tied at 1 apiece.
I think Minnesota minus 10.5 is a good.
That's
good
great. The lines so far have been absolutely crazy.
Thunder
were both 10.5-point favorites last night. Obviously, the Thunder covered. Celtics did not. But they were even 10.5-point favorites in game one of each of those series as well. And then tomorrow night, the Thunder opened as a 4.5-point favorite in Denver. It's already up to 5.5. At least a couple hours ago, it was. Some of these lines have just been absolutely nuts in the NBA playoffs so far. So, we'll see how that pans out. But one of my favorite things from the Timberwolves Warriors game the other night was America realizing that Buddy Hield is not from the United States. He's from the Bahamas. They're like, this guy has an accent. Like, why is he talking funny? That was one of my favorite things to find out, which Buddy Hield is probably one of my favorite Oklahoma basketball players of all time. I watched a lot of his basketball at Lloyd Noble back when he was at Oklahoma. So that'll be fun.
He probably might be the last 4-year guy that's going to be a legit NBA guy to ever play basketball for OU in the current day and stage of college sports.
Yeah, no,
I guess never say never, but you look at it now, you're like, damn.
Well, and especially all the turnover that Oklahoma's had in the last handful of years. Yeah, no, 100%.
I mean, it's not even an OU basketball thing. It's really just college basketball in general. I mean, we don't need to get into a deep dive of what college sports is during the NBA playoffs. But
while we're on the topic of this, I saw a tweet earlier today. I think it was from Red Dirt Sport. He said the Pope was rooting for Villanova in that game. So that kind of hurt my feelings in that. But again, we'll talk about that here in a little bit. What else? The Pacers. How about them Pacers, man? They got a 2-0 lead over the Cleveland Cavaliers. Cleveland Cavaliers. Which that kind of sucks. Is that the Cavs were really healthy all season long, and then they get hurt right at the worst time. It was just not funny at all.
I'd much rather lose fair and square than lose while your team's hurt. Because you just sit there forever. What if?
Tyrese Halliburton doing the big balls celebration. That was he's quickly turning into one of my favorite players in the league.
Dude, the Pacers rock. The Pacers rock.
They're so much fun to watch.
I might have to root if they make the knock on wood. if we get to the point where the Thunder are competing for a Larry O'Brien trophy and they're playing the Pacers, how about this? If the Thunder advance to the next round in the Western Conference Finals, and you're kind of thinking the future opponents, I might have to root against the Pacers just because I don't want to go against my boys in the finals. I will gladly go against them in the finals.
And
I like them.
They're so up and down the court. Their offense is so much fun to watch. Tyrese Halliburton, we said it the other day, the players in the NBA ranked him as the most overrated player in the league. That must have pissed him off because he's come out and he's been phenomenal so far in the playoffs.
Yeah, I mean, he's like you said the other day, he said overrate that. It's like, yeah, overrate that. Do that in the playoffs.
And his dad went toe-to-toe with Giannis. It's just been awesome. By the way, I've again, you're on TikTok a lot too. I am as well. That song or that sound on TikTok where it's like "what the helly" and stuff like that.
Oh, yeah. What the
when do we start saying "what the helly"? I hate that. Let's not say that. Let's move on from that, people. Just say "what the hell."
There's a lot of trends I don't like out there, Preston.
Yeah.
It's then he's like, doesn't it go like what the Tyrese Halley?
Yeah,
or what the Halliburton?
Yeah,
something like that.
Let's move on from that, people. We don't need that in our lives. We don't need that in our lives. Derek says, I saw a funny comment about Buddy Hield's press conference. People said he talks how I think Scotty Barnes should. That is pretty funny. The people online are mean to Scotty Barnes. And if you don't know what we're talking about, just get on TikTok and Google and search Scotty Barnes. You'll understand very quickly. They're pretty mean to him. We did mention that Minnesota's a 10.5-point favorite tonight in that one. And then tomorrow night, the Cavs and Pacers will play again. Right now, the Cavs are a 2.5-point favorite in Indianapolis in that game. You got anything else in the NBA playoffs?
No, just I was sitting today, Preston, thinking like these are the moments we live for. Like right now, series tied 1-1. You get two of the best players in the world going at it. These are the moments we live for, right?
Well, it kind of like brings me back, and obviously, if they make it to the Western Conference Finals, of the early run of the Thunder, right? Like, and I was probably 16 years old when that happened, so that was a fun time in life where obviously you didn't have anything to worry about at that age, right? You could just sit and watch some Thunder basketball with your friends and all that.
That was your life, and it was
exactly,
your life.
So it just brings me back to simpler times. So I'm hoping we can get a nice run out of the Thunder and see if they can, get one for the city. So, by the way, I don't know if we talked about it the other day, the mural for Shea that's now in Oklahoma City. Have you seen that? Well, we might have lost him. Let's see if we can get him back. Well, we'll have him rejoin. Go ahead and rejoin, Teabag, if you can still hear me. Looks like we lost him. Do we got you? You there? No, we don't have him. We don't have him. We lost him. But yeah, that was good stuff. That mural is pretty cool. I need to get out and go see that. All right, we got you.
What the hell?
We got you.
I just boom, bye.
I was talking about the Shea mural. Have you got out to see that?
I haven't gotten to see it, but I've seen it. I've seen pictures of it. It's awesome.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. I saw someone post when he eventually wins MVP, if we can get M and P put up there to where it spells out MVP with his hands out there like that. So if Thunder win it all, do you think OKC will grease the poles in Bricktown? Hell no. Let's climb everything, man. This is the first one. It's the first one. Let's do everything.
They're gonna have weird. The Okies are too nice to do that.
Plus, the folks around here are a little too big to be climbing on light poles and stuff like that. Let's be honest, all right? Let's be honest. All right. Well, that's
have
all.
Have you ever seen that thing that the Naval Academy does with their freshmen, like right when training starts or something?
I don't think I have.
They grease a statue and they put like a bandana up there, and like the first mission you have to do as a class is like climb this huge grease statue and like get the bandana. So pretty much they just swarm all the people and to climb over everyone. That's gonna be Oklahoma City. If the Thunder ever win a championship, just a bunch of fat people just try to climb all over each other.
Let's hope it's this year. That would be a sight to see. All right, let's move on to a topic that is hot in the streets today. Pope 2025. We've got an American Pope. We have I saw a tweet that you'll hate, but it says Chicago got a Pope before they got a 4,000-yard passer.
That's the Pope's going to bring a 4,000-yard passer, Preston. That's what I say. This is the best addition the Bears could have made in the offseason. They hired Ben Johnson. They revamped the offensive line. This is the best move they could have made. Getting a Pope, having God on your side. What's better? Another.
Oh, and by the way, I've seen the Cubs out there trying to claim the Pope.
That's what I was about to say.
He's not a Cubs fan, all right? So let's quit trying to claim him out there.
He's a Sox guy. He's a Sox guy.
Cubs fans.
Well, so it was great. What did it say? So the Pope, the sign
on Wrigley, they put like
hey Chicago. They said, "Hey Chicago, he's a Cubs fan." Or he said, "Hey Chicago, he's a Cubs fan." Word came out, he's actually a Sox fan. So then the Sox came out and put on social media, "Hey Chicago, he's a Sox fan."
That's good stuff. Pope Leo the 14th. I already forget his actual name, but he has actually some ties to Oklahoma. I don't know if you saw that.
I did not.
I don't know what exactly he did, but it's like a Catholic school in the Tulsa area. That he kind of helped out with there. So he's got a few ties to Oklahoma as well. So pretty cool stuff.
Let's go. Do you think we'll ever get the Pope at the Super Bowl? Now that he's American?
I don't know, because I think he spent like the last 40
young
years.
Too.
Well, but he spent the last 40 years in Peru. So I don't know how many ties he actually has to the States at this point,
Yeah, but come on. You're once American, always American.
Yeah, true. True.
And I mean, he seems like a young guy. This might be our Pope for a while. So I mean, we might have like 20 or 30 Super Bowls to play with here.
We'll see. Yeah, maybe if the Bears make it, right?
Oh,
Maybe.
Bears in the Super Bowl, God on your side. Oh.
As long as the Pope's not with the Cubs, I don't care.
I'll convert to Catholicism, Catholicism, however you say it.
Catholicism. Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you. If the Bears win the Super Bowl because the Pope is in attendance.
Again, the only reason we care about this is because we were just enamored by the whole conclave.
Yeah, we watched Conclave. We're experts at this.
Yeah.
Like I'm thinking about becoming a cardinal myself.
I am okay. I was a little like the historic part of it is what kind of got me drawn to it. I'm a big history nut, so that kind of got me drawn to that. Derek says, have you guys seen the TikToks of the three guys that impersonate Shannon Sharp, Stephen A, and Perk?
Yes.
Yes, that was great.
Awesome.
There's also another one that does Shannon Sharp, and it might be one of the same guys, but he does Shannon Sharp and Ocho Cinco. That one is perfect as well. Yeah, those guys are hilarious.
Nightcap. Hey, yeah. I got to give Paul Pierce a shout out, by the way.
Oh, yeah, ran his mouth and then had to walk 20 miles to work today.
At least he did it. You know, if you're going to run your mouth and claim you're going to do something, then do it. Shout out to Paul Pierce for that. For those that didn't
yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, he said if the Celtics lose game 2, he'll walk to work barefoot in a robe.
Yeah.
And he put out last night.
He said, bet the house on it, is what he said, too.
Bet the house on it. Put out last night after the Celtics lost. He was an 8-hour walk. He's like 20 miles from work. And then he vlogged the whole thing. He was keeping notes. He left his house at like 5 a.m. LA time to make it to the studio in time. So yeah, shout out. I mean, that's not easy. I'm sure he wore shoes. I don't blame him if he wore shoes.
No, he did wear shoes.
Yeah, I don't blame if he says barefoot and then he's like, I'm not doing barefoot. Yeah, I understand that. We got to wear
20
shoes.
Miles, that's good enough for me.
Yeah. So shout out to him for holding up his end of the bet because he did walk 20 miles in a robe.
Yeah, as soon as he reached the studios there, someone said, you need me to get you a wheelchair, and it just reminded me of him in the what was it, the finals back in the day where he had to be wheelchaired out because he was allegedly injured, but I think he just pooped his pants at that point. So yeah, that was pretty funny. So yeah, so shout out to Paul Pierce for doing that. All right, well, that's all I had for today, unless you have anything else. Oh, you're breaking out in and out on us here.
Yeah,
we still got you.
Yeah,
there
my Wi-Fi's dying.
All right, well, that's gonna do it for us. No show Sunday. Go hang out with your mom. Watch the Thunder with your mom. Hang out after. So no show Sunday. We'll be back next week, and then we'll be off the week after that because I'll be on vacation for a week. And yeah, so we'll see you guys on. I don't want to tell you yet because I don't really know the Thunder schedule off the top of my head, but we'll be back at some point next week with you guys. But until then, everyone have a great night. Have a great Mother's Day, all you moms out there. And again, go be with your mom on Mother's Day if you can. If not, give her a call, all that stuff. All right. Adios.